Pope in the 7th century called Mary Magdalene a prostitute. This could not be farther from the truth. So today, let's hear what's going on.
Good afternoon and welcome to South Santiago Lutheran Church. My name is Pastor Darrell Toole, and today I am accompanied by
Madi Harkin.
You're going to speak louder.
Oh, Madi Harkin.
And Madi Harkin is here to talk to you today about
Mary Magdalene.
Who?
Mary Magdalene.
Mary Magdalene. How cool is it? You picked a good one. And so all of our 7th, 8th, and 9th graders have been given the opportunity to share the story of someone in the Bible and give us some information. We do a lot of narrative lectionary type stuff. We do some revised common lectionary. But I thought it might just be fun to bounce around point to point and just talk about the people. And Mary Magdalene is one that we don't talk a whole lot about, do we?
Mm-mm.
And so we're going to learn a little bit more about her today, right?
Right.
So let's begin. In a single sentence, sum up what you're going to tell us.
Okay, so Mary Magdalene was a close friend of Jesus, and she was with Jesus when he got crucified, and she was one of the first people to see him when he was resurrected.
That really is a close friend of Jesus, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. Okay, now where'd you get this information?
I got it from Wikipedia and a site called Quora.
Okay, good for you. I'm glad I've never heard that source before used. So, talk about her active years, her life, death, that sort of stuff. What do you know?
Well, it doesn't really say in the Bible, so we're not really sure. But many historians think she was born in 17 AD and she died in 75 AD.
Okay, 17 AD, and Jesus was pretty active, roughly the years 30 to 33.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is Mary Magdalene wouldn't have been a whole lot older than you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. I think most people my age and your parents' age and your grandparents' age always have this idea that Mary Magdalene was like Jesus' age or even older. She was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool. Okay, you got some biographical information?
Yes. So her mom's name was Eucharis, and her dad's name was Cyrus, and she grew up in Magdala.
She grew up in That's where she got the name.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Magdalene, which is Mary from Magdala. That's cool. That's cool. Anything else on bio, or is that what we got?
When she started traveling around Jesus, she was around 14 years old.
That's crazy. But you got to remember now, a girl would have come into adulthood at roughly the age of 13. And remember now, women didn't get to go to school back then. Mm-hmm. And so they basically became adults and either got married or got a job or probably both. And if you were 18, 19 years old and weren't married yet, you were basically an old maid. Could you imagine that? Mm-mm. But when you only live to 30, 40 years old, it probably works out that way, I suppose. So where in the Bible can we hear about Mary Magdalene?
Well, she's mainly in the books Mark, Matthew, and Luke, but she is mentioned a couple times in the other stories. Okay.
Now she's never really a central character, but she seems to. And they thought that if they could get rid of Jesus and a couple of his followers, that they could, like Stephen got stoned not long after Jesus ascended into heaven, that they could wipe out the whole sort of idea. It didn't work, did it? Mm-mm. We're still talking about Jesus today. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. And so Mary Magdalene, what do you think? What do you think of her? I know for a fact that a lot of historians about 1,000, 1,500 years ago thought she was a prostitute. That's crap, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's not true. And she basically spent her life taking care of Jesus and then living in his legacy after that. Mm-hmm. Because women back then didn't have a big voice, did they? Mm-mm. And so I'm sure she did what she could for God, even after Jesus ascended. That's really cool. Mm-hmm. So, anything more on her story? Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay. Give me a Bible verse.
Okay, so John 20, verse 11 through 18 says, But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over and looked into the tomb, and she saw two angels in white sitting there where the body of Jesus had been lying, one at the head and the other at the feet. They said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" She said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." When she had said that, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" Supposed him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned and said to him, Hebrew, a Rabboni, which means teacher. Jesus said to her, "Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father. But go to my brothers and say to them, I have ascended to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord," and she told them that he had said those things to her.
Think about that. In a time when women really didn't matter. You know what I mean? Just so, not even, if I had kids and my wife had another girl, I'd be like, oh, but another boy, I'd be like, oh. Who is the first person the angels tell?
Mary Magdalene.
What does that say?
That she was an important person.
Yeah, and it also says that women are important. Mm-hmm. Don't let anybody ever tell you, or any of you ladies and girls out there ever tell you that you are second-class citizens to God, because you're not. Thank you very much for this lesson today. You did fantastic.
Thank you.
Give me a 5. 2 thumbs up.
A pope in the 7th century called Mary Magdalene a prostitute. This could not be farther from the truth. So today let's hear what's going on.